Hello guys, the last day of 2020, 31 December, and decided to have a look at PopOs today. It is 2004 on Ubuntu 2004, and I've got good feelings about this. So I'm going to be testing it out as what do I think of it as a daily driver. I know you can play games on it. It's got Steam for you to install. And I've heard many positive reports on it. So I mean, if we quickly go and look at, for instance, it's got its own pop shop, all right, so where you can download your software from. And yes, we are running today on 3 gig RAM, 25 gig hard drive in KVM. I decided to ditch VirtualBox for this. And all right, so there we're looking, and what it does have for us to install, and a whole lot of options here. So, and you can see Steam is a first-class citizen. Lutris is a first-class citizen. Visual Studio Code is, that's very nice. We're going to be installing that today. Virtual Machine Manager with KVM is here. Okay, so all good so far. Chromium is here. I wonder if it's got Brave on here. No, it doesn't have Brave, but okay. So, okay, so the install I did, just the very basic install. I didn't select anything special. I just accepted the defaults. And one thing that was very nice on the installation, it asks you if you want to encrypt your hard drive. And that is very nice if you are security conscious, which I assume, well, most Linux people are. So if you have a laptop or something, you can encrypt it. It does slightly affect your speed, but not by much. I have it running on a very old laptop myself, not with PopOs though, but with Cinnamon Mate and Mint Mate, sorry, and it's fast. It doesn't really affect any speed-wise or anything. So yes, encrypting a hard drive is something good. Alternatively, you can just encrypt your home folder if you don't want to do your whole drive. But all right, so yeah, we got, like I say, we've got Steam over here, and we've got Lutris over here, and we've got Visual Studio Code. So we're going to look at Visual Studio Code. Let's click on that. So what version do we have here? Well, it's the proprietary version, so it's not the open source version. So if you want the open source one, you've got to install that yourself, it looks like. So let's see what version it installs for us. I think the latest is, well, let's go to Firefox. Let's go to the Visual Studio website, and let's see what the latest version is. I think it's 148 or something. No, sorry, that's Rust. 151, I think it is. So all right, here we've got Firefox open. For interest's sake, which version of Firefox are we on? So we go to help and about, I think it's 84. Yes, 84, 64-bit, specifically for Ubuntu Canonical. Okay, so I think 84 is the latest. Okay, so let's go to Visual Studio Code. Okay, let's have a look for that. Here we go, Visual Studio Code, and the version is 152. Okay, so this is if we download it from the website. You'll be selecting here the .deb package, the Debian package. But all right, so let's go back to our, let's install it from here. So you can install the Flathub as well, or the Flatpak as well. We're just going to do the Debian install, PopOs, and select that, and let's see what it comes up with. All right, so once our sudo password, and it should be going. Yes, so it says downloading. All right, while that's going, something else that we can look at is something that I use a lot is Mariadb. We're going to be installing that as a replacement for MySQL. Mariadb is sort of the standard nowadays on most Linux distributions. To get to the terminal, it's meta key T, opens up the terminal for us, and we can do a sudo apt install mariadb-server, and it should do that install for us. I wonder if it can get a lock. Yes, so it can't get a lock, and that is because of the fact that Visual Studio Code is currently installing. So let's let Visual Studio Code run through. Then what we can do so long is let's go to the install Mongodb. Mongodb, a very popular NoSQL database. It's a document database. It's very fast, and it's also something excellent and great to use. Got a community version which is completely free. Alright, so let's go and look here. So Linux, install MongoDB Community Edition, and what is this? Firefox, stop the social network from tracking you. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Let's see what the protections are. Social media trackers, analytics, Twitter, and ads.linkedin. Yeah, good. Something before we continue, let's just quickly set up Firefox the way that I normally have it set up. So it's just one setting or two settings are changed. So we come down to preferences here, and so the first thing is we go and look at search. Hope, privacy, and security. Okay, so yeah, we got standard, strict, and custom. I always switch mine to strict. They do warn you about some things might not working. I have never had problems in 2 years that I've been running the setting, if not longer. And all that is default, that's fine. All right, we go to search and use the address bar. Yes. What are our search options? So we got Google, Amazon, Bing, okay, DuckDuckGo, and Wikipedia. Okay, no start page. Interesting. But so the default is Google, and you can move DuckDuckGo up, I assume. Yeah, so you can just drag it and put it in order of preference and so forth. Okay, we like that. Then if we go to home, general, the one thing I like doing also is my tabs. Okay, startup, we restore previous session. Always check if Firefox has warned you when quitting the browser. Nah, don't worry about that. But yeah, we want to restore our previous session. Okay, and that's basically all I set. Let's close that tab down. All right, so here's the MongoDB website, and because we're on Ubuntu, so here it's got an option, install MongoDB Community Edition on Ubuntu. We'll take that. So it'll come. Okay, so we've got 2004 LTS Focal, MongoDB 4.4. Okay, official packages, and yeah, we can get going. Let me just zoom into that a little bit so you can see better. So let's go and look at our PopShop install of Visual Studio. Okay, so Visual Studio has been installed. Okay, we can close down PopShop, and let's do a search for Visual Studio, and there we have it. So to do a search in Gnome 3, okay, so I press the meta key, and it brings us to the screen, and then I just start typing. All right, so it's found Visual Studio, but let's just type further. Visual Studio, it's now the first option. I'll just press enter and it'll open up Visual Studio for us. Okie dokie, and there it comes up. Now, something I always do is Visual Studio, the main thing, the big difference between Visual Studio, the proprietary version, and the open source version is that normal Visual Studio from Microsoft has telemetry enabled. So we want to disable telemetry. If we come up here, we go to edit and where's my preferences? Yeah, sorry, file and preferences, settings. All right, and we type in telemetry. All right, these two options here I disable. So telemetry enable crash reporter and telemetry enable reporting. So that's off, and that's good. If Microsoft is really completely off from tracking us, I don't know, but from what I've read on the internet and stuff, it appears that that's good enough. But if you're really worried, then rather install the open source version. And okay, so we got Visual Studio Code up and running. That's good. And what I was busy with is the Mariadb install. So let's just rerun that. Sudo apt install Mariadb server. Okay, do I want to continue? Just press enter for yes. Okay, it'll go ahead and do that installation for us. And the MongoDB install, so we need to copy this bit over here. All right, and so we'll open up another terminal for that, and we'll paste that in there, and it'll ask me for my, let's see if it can lock. App key is deprecated. Manage keyring files in trusted. Okay, does that mean it didn't do it? App key is deprecated. That's very interesting. All right, let's just see if we just continue with it, assume that it worked. Okay, so now it's going to do an apt-get install, which it can't do because we're currently locked because of the Mariadb install. But Control-Shift-V, we can paste that in there. and it's fairly standard. Control-Shift-V. Go back to the Mariadb install. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so let's go down arrow and we choose the one we want, which is the second one. Yeah, all right, so Mariadb install is complete, but there's one more thing that we must do. Sudo mysql. All right, this is just to harden your installation. No, it's not that. Mariadb, is it underscores? Let's try that. I did this a while ago. Okay, so it's underscore. Sudo mysql secure installation. Let's just zoom into that a little bit and you can see better. So how does it zoom? So it's not doing it with the control plus. It's not mouse scrolling. Okay, that's to do a search. Okay, well, I can't find the zoom in now, but I'm sure you can read that. Enter current password for root. Okay, in order to log into Mariadb secure it, we'll need the current root password. Sure, all right. Okay, we'll give him the current root password. Okay, change the root password. This is for no. Okay, you can choose. All right, I just like setting it to no. But this is up to you. Remove anonymous user. Yes. Normally, should root be allowed to connect from localhost? This ensures that someone cannot guess at the root password from the network. Yes. Okay. Remove database, test database. Yes. And reload privilege tables now. Yes. Okay. So now everything should be fine. So if I do a sudo and type in MySQL, remember to get into Mariadb, you type MySQL. Remember, Mariadb is a fork of MySQL, and this is still stuck on MySQL to log into it. So we run it, and there we are. We in Mariadb. So what we can do is we can say show databases. Oh, come on. So I accidentally put it into caps, databases, and semicolon, and we've got our 3 databases. So let's say use MySQL, and we say show tables, semicolon. All right, and those are all the tables that we've got available to us. Okay, so it's working fine. Mariadb is up and running, and we exit out of that and we close the terminal down. All right, now we are on MongoDB. Why does it look like, oh, it did copy everything. Okay, so let's just install what they say and see what happens. It's already the newest version. That's good. Once it's, oh, okay, sorry, that's if I got an error. Okay, I didn't get an error. So we come down to here and we copy this bit here. Okay, this bit. Okay, and we alt tab, we go back, Control-Shift-V and enter. And what did it do now? Okay, added there. All right, and then we do an update. Okay, and then we come to this point. Oops. Okay, and that's going to do the actual Mariadb install. All right. Mongodb install, not Mariadb. Okay, let that run. Optionally, you can available blah blah blah. Okay, and all right. So where do we enable the service now? Okay, so that's all done. If you are not okay, I know that we are using systemd because we're running with Ubuntu and Debian. All right, so this is starting the service. So let's copy that to start the service, and come back here. All right, it's still doing the install. It's nearly finished. Something I can quickly show you is when I first did this install, I noticed that the fonts are they're not smooth, they're not anti-aliased. Okay, so in order to sort that out, I installed Gnome Tweaks. Okay, so if we alt and we come over to the pop shop again, and we just type in tweaks. Come on. All right, so at top here we just type in tweaks, and so up top here you'll see Gnome Tweaks, and it'll show you here to install. I've already installed it, so if I open it up, close that. Okay, the hard drive is quite busy at the moment. Okay, so I went over to fonts here, and I changed anti-aliasing to subpixel for LCD screens, and that's smoothened it up nicely. You can obviously now change your fonts here, etc. Another thing that by default it installed was the dark theme, which I really like. You can change that to a high contrast or a light colored view, but I like the dark theme. MongoDB is installed, so now we need to start the service. System control start MongoD for the MongoDB daemon. All right, so that should be done. And and the other thing you need to do is to enable it so that it always starts up. If you want it to be a service running in your system that survives reboots and so forth, you just run enable. So we'll do that. Okay. And all right, so let's go and look at its current status, and it should tell us that it is running and it is enabled. Okay, so here we go. It's loaded and it's active. Okay, so it'll restart on system restart. Now all we need to do is we just type in Mongo, and there we go. We are in MongoDB. And yeah, all right, so MongoDB is working, Mariadb is working, Visual Studio Code is installed and working. And just for fun, I think the other thing that we can do then is to do something useful for development, for instance, is I like using Rust. Okay, so let's go to the Rust website, Rust lang. Okay, Rust programming language. We open it up. All right, get started. We do that. All right, and this is the options that we need to install Rust. So we select that, copy that, and we open up a terminal again, and Control-Shift-V on that, and enter that, and okay, it's going to start doing the Rust install for us. Okay, it's downloading the installer. This does take a few moments. It'll do cargo and all that stuff for us. And the one thing that we might have issue with is the, it doesn't mention it over here, but that is the path that must be automatically set up for us. We'll see if that happens or not. All right, then we're also going to have some fun, I think. Well, we can't do it right now because Rust is busy installing, so we'll let that run through first. Okay, so what else can we have a look at? Well, let's see by default what did it install for us. So if we come over here to our apps, okay, so we got Firefox as a default install. That's very nice. We've got our system related stuff, so we should have a system monitor here. Okay, there's our system monitor. Let's go to resources, a bit small here. Okay, so you can see I've only got 4 cores here. KVM, a virtual machine, I've only given it 4. 1.7 gig in use. That's quite high. All right, that's quite high. Interesting. Yeah, okay, of 3 gig that I gave it. Yeah, so that's a little bit on the high side, but that's okay. I'm not quite sure what the reason is. We can have a look at that later. And all right, we got our 1 hard drive. It's a 20 gig hard drive. All right, so let's close that down, and let's see if we've got at least top. Oops, I just went to Firefox here. We don't want that. We want to go to our terminal again, and so we should have top installed. It's always installed. Yes, it's there. And do we have htop though? No, we don't have htop. All right, we need to install htop as well. And another one that I use is glances. That's also not installed. All right, but we'll get to that in a moment. So let's just see the progress here of so it was waiting for me to press something. This is Rust. Proceed with the installation. Okay, so what it's saying, number 1, and enter. And it's doing the install for us. So far I'm very happy with PopOs. It's very nice. Is it going, can I use it as a replacement for my own installation, which I use on my main machine here, which is Linux Mint Cinnamon and sometimes Mate. I just switch between the two. There's something about Cinnamon that bugs me, but I'll cover that in a video about Cinnamon. But I think I still prefer my Cinnamon. I've got all my shortcuts set up the way I wanted. I can do everything from shortcuts and so forth. Like with a window manager, for instance, if you want things next to each other and so forth, the Cinnamon defaults are very, very nice to do that without having to install a window manager. One thing that you do get with PopOs is a tiling window manager. So like I show you up top here, the first icon on the top right here is you can specify to allow the tiling. All right, so I'll put that on, and we're now using tiling. and I'm not quite sure which Windows Manager it's using for this. We can just look up on that. But okay, so if I open a new terminal, it should now tile it for us. Yes, and it does. And if I open another terminal, it'll tile that for us again. Did I now? Okay, so all right. So that is if you like your tiling window managers. I don't. I find it, for what I do, too limiting. Got far too many things that I run at the same time, and I prefer things stacked. So I don't use tiling window managers, but a lot of people do. I heard someone say the other day on one of their videos on YouTube, to have any street cred, you got to use a tiling window manager. That I find absolutely ridiculous. It really depends on how you use your computer and so forth. Like I say, for me, tiling window managers are extremely limiting. So no, I don't use that, and a lot of other people don't either. So no, street cred. Maybe the fact that I code in assembler, C, C++, Rust, C#, Angular, etc., etc., etc. Maybe I get a little bit of street cred out of that more than using a tiling window manager. I really hate these people that, you have to do this, you have to do that to have some street cred. No, guys, come on. We all just Linux users. We're happy with it as is. You don't have to be forced to use something specific. Okay, so Rust is completely installed, to use something specific, to be part of the community. The community isn't just one-sided. That's the whole idea about Linux. And the moment you meet people that are very one-sided about their ideas and opinions, and you must use this version of Linux, this distro, you got to use Arch. I've got Arch Manjaro running, and I also used Anarchy Arch. And I was happy with both of them. With the Arch I'm using, I've got XFCE on, and I love it. It's great. But no, there's no such thing as you got to use this, you got to use that. You got to use Debian if you want to have a server, for instance. No, there's many options. So, all right. So here it tells us about our shell. To configure your shell, you must run the following. Let's just see if it's set it up anyway. So if I just type in cargo, okay. Cargo not found. So in this case, it does want us to set up a shell. But if we open a new terminal and we type in cargo, all right, so he has registered for us, so we don't really need to worry about running this command. We can just close this terminal, switch over to this one, and everything is registered for us. Okay, so that's Rust. So if we do a LL, being Ubuntu, our LL exists. LL is very similar to ls-al, but I think it's got H in it as well or something. I can't remember. In fact, we can have a look at that. So if we go, I assume Nano is installed, all right, as our text editor, command line text editor. So we do nano .bash rc, and it opens up a window for us here, text editor. Okay, so if we just come down a little bit here, and okay, so here it is. LL is ALF, sorry, ls-alf. All right. And you can come here and you can put in your own short aliases and so forth as well. So here you can see that Rust has added one for his home folder to be put in the path there. All right, so let's get out of here again. Okay, so I'm going to create a folder, and I'm just going to call it, let's say, projects. Let's give it a capital P. Look prettier that way. All right, and we change into projects. All right, so we should have nothing inside there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a quick Rust project. So we're going to say cargo new, and it's not a library, it's just a normal project. We're just going to say my app. All right, so it'll create us an app. We change directory into that new folder that is created for us. We LL on that, and so it's created. And now all you need to do to start Visual Studio Code up, and to load this project, this Rust project, to say code for Visual Studio Code, and then dot terminal. All right, and there's Visual Studio Code opening up, and okay, all good. So if we come here to source, we click on main, we should have a little Hello World app for us. Yes, we do. And if I quickly run it, so we just say cargo run, or you can say R or run. All right. And it's building it, and we should down at the bottom here see there it says Hello World for us. So we've got Visual Studio running, we've got Rust running, we got MongoDB running, we've got Mariadb running. Change the fonts to be smoother, We set up Firefox settings. So, oh, something we can quickly do here is change the desktop background. Change the background. Let's see what app it brings up for us. So let's see, what do we have here? There's a different pop-on one. It's quite nice. If you want to keep the pop-in theme there. What do we have? You've got a satellite here. So what's that? Yeah. Okay, so that's nice. Much darker. Like I said before, I like things dark. There's another one that might be quite nice. A bit boring. Okay, let's go back to our satellite. We've changed that. Okay, something else that we might want to have a look at is, for instance, shortcuts. So let's assume we're not in settings, for instance. Okay, so press the meta key, the Windows key button on your keyboard. In Linux, we call it the meta key. Or the super key, also it's called the super key. If we go to settings now, okay, so if we just start typing, so let me just get out again. So we press the meta key or the super key and we just start typing keyboard. All right, okay, so it's gone to tweaks. Okay, so it's not the one we want, so we want the first one here. So, all right, and if we come down to the bottom, here's our shortcuts, and you can go and see what's already been set up for us. And we can come and add new shortcuts inside here and so forth. Like, you know, like for instance, if we look at launchers here, they've got launch a calculator. It's currently disabled, so there's no shortcut to open up your calculator. So let's add a shortcut to that. Make it, I'm going to say Control-Shift-C. All right, so we set that. Okay, and we can close that down, close down. Okay, so if I say Control-Shift-C, the calculator should open up, and there it is. All right, so it starts up in the basic mode. Let's go to, for instance, programming mode. Okay, so we've got the calculator in programming mode, and yeah, all good. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. I disabled my super key by accident. I sometimes get a little bit carried away with all the shortcuts on my keyboard, and I press too many in combination after each other. And there's a particular combination that I sometimes make a mistake typing, and it disables my super key. So I got it all back up and running. So where were we? Oh, I said we were going to have some fun on the command line. So all right, so super T, and we open up the terminal, and we're going to do let's install CMatrix. All right, we'll install CMatrix. All right, so if we just say CMatrix, there we go, enter, and there we got the matrix stuff up and running, and we'll maximize that. Okay, so that's having some fun, and we'll quit out of that. Q for quit. Okay, another one that we can install is NeoFetch. A lot of you will know NeoFetch. You would have seen this running in terminals when somebody opens up a new terminal. Okay, there we got it. All right, so let's type in NeoFetch, and I've never seen one for PopOs, so let's see what its little logo is. Ah, there, that's cool. PopOs got his own little one. All right, that's nice. And something else that we got is fortune. So that'll tell you your fortune. What we're going to do is we're going to combine all these things. So let fortune install. Okay, so if we just type out fortune, pops up a little saying of the day for you. Okay. Then another one that I use is lolcat. That adds some colors to something, which you'll see in a moment. Okay, so if we say, for instance, fortune. Okay, so it's going to read out our fortune. We're going to pipe that to the lolcat command. It'll add some colors for us. All right, so I don't know if you can see that very well, but it is there. So, okay, I've added that shortcut just now, so we can zoom in a little bit. Okay, so let's try another one. All right, so there we've got some colors for some fortunes being read. Now, what I want to do, all right, every time I start or open a new terminal, okay, I wanted to show NeoFetch. I also wanted to show me my fortune for the day, or for that particular session, and then also put it in color for me. So in order to do that, we've got to add it to our bash rc file. So we do a nano.bash rc, okay, oops, and then 0. All right, nano All right, nano, and we come down to the bottom of the file, and we're going to type out neofetch. All right, so it's going to run neofetch for us. Then after that, it must run fortune. Oops, fortune, and pipe it to lolcat. All right, and that's all we need to do. All right, Control X out of that, and interesting, Alt F4 doesn't work in here. Okay, so it doesn't matter. All right, so just say exit. All right, so if I now open a new terminal, so every time I open up a new terminal window, it will do the neofetch for me. It'll have it like you'll see here. Okay, so that's our one saying now, and that's our previous saying. All right, so that's all cute, and you can now also say C matrix. Oops, again with my caps, and there's our matrix. All right, and Q out of that. You can put that at the end of your bash RC file, and every time you start up your terminal, you're gonna see C matrix. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what will happen, but I'm sure you can just Q out of it and edit your bash RC, or use a different text editor to edit it and get rid of it. Okay, so all right, all good. What else can we have a look at? Okay, so let's close that down. Let's have a look at our options for Office. Here we go, Office. So it looks like it's got the normal LibreOffice stuff installed. Yeah, let's open up Calc. I work mostly in Calc, not so much in Word. Yeah, a little bit big, the fonts, but we can change that obviously. But okay, so LibreOffice is up and running, and yeah, it looks like it's a completely usable system, this PopOs. And like I say, you can do your gaming and so forth. I know a lot of people use PopOs for Steam gaming and so. And oh, so I can immediately see that's why it's so big. So it's because I added that shortcut. Haha. All right, so let's try that again. So if I say Calc. Okay, LibreOffice Calc is the first option, and okay, it's because I added that shortcut earlier to add the zooming and so forth. Control plus and Control minus. Okay, all right, so that looks a little bit better, and okay, we can go and do whatever we want. Let's go and add the following rows together. All right, select that, and come up here, and we just where's the summit. And yeah, so it's got 21, which is all good. And if I change something here, 23 or whatever, all right, and it updates. Okay, so that all works. All right, so would I use this as my daily driver? Definitely. The only thing that holds me back is that I prefer my shortcuts in Cinnamon, but all of them I can transfer to GNOME 3 here. And so there's really nothing that, you know, if somebody had to come to me and say, you know, which would you recommend, Cinnamon or GNOME running, you know, PopOs or Mint Cinnamon? I don't know. It's up to your personal preference. I don't really see anything between the two. What I can say though is, let me just show it to you. If I do a unam here, all right. So we are running on Linux 5.8. In Mint, you've got 5.4. Okay, so there's a difference in the Linux version. PopOs on a slightly newer version. But other than that, I don't know. I don't really see any major issues. There's the PopShop, PopShop, old program from the 80s, PopShop. All right, so this PopShop, I like the look of it more than the one in Mint, but in Mint it does tell me. So if I want to install, I mean, let's just go down here. Let's just, okay, so we should have Blenders. Yeah, I use Blender a lot. I do have 2.91 at the moment. I think that's the absolute latest running in Mint. All right, so if we come down to G, okay, I mean, we could just do a search for it, but EFG. Okay, there's GIMP. Okay, let's click on that. One update is available for my system. That's nice. Okay, so I clicked on it and nothing happens. Nah, that's not good. Let's just search for it again. Okay. Click on it. Oh, I see. So, okay. So this is what I want to do. So I want to see the size. Size is 1.7 gig. That's crazy because it's a flatpak. All right. So do they not have? They don't have the Debian, the deb file. Only the flatpak. So, but one thing good normally about the flatpaks is it's the latest version. Okay, so October 4th, 2020 is this version. Oh, that's quite new. But okay, I'm not going to do the install because it's 1.7 gig. It's going to take too long. But I'm pretty sure that it'll work. There's no problems with it and so. Okay. Yeah, so my final roundup now. I've got to call it quits at some point. I'm too excited playing in this thing. It's really nice. I love it. I really, really like it. Yeah, I've got nothing bad to say about it, actually. I love it. Okay, so it looks like everything that I'm going to want to do is going to work in here. I'm pretty sure it'll work because it's running on top of Ubuntu 20.04. Everything will work. Yeah, great. Go for it, guys. I don't see any problems with this. It's clean. Would I recommend it for a beginner? Okay. I'm still trying to find something that beats Cinnamon. I did say elementary is probably the best distribution for somebody that doesn't want to fiddle at all with anything. All right. In other words, just to do their web browsing and that type of stuff, no real fiddling. Okay, use elementary OS for that. But to go a little bit further, I would recommend Cinnamon for the new guy. And no, this PopOs, the GNOME 3 interface is very different from, for instance, the Windows interface, and so that takes a little bit of getting used to for a new guy. But other than just the interface, I mean, you can choose the interface. You can install onto here on PopOs. You can switch over to Mate, Cinnamon, etc. You can install all that stuff. It's easy. Maybe I'll make a video on that one day. But yeah, I think for most guys out there that's okay with the GNOME 3 interface, or if they're going to install their own desktop, no problems. I would use this without a problem. Great. Thanks, guys. Catch you next time.